Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales jump-started the secondary market this week, so we are going to look at the top 25 hottest cards instead of the normal top 10. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Innistrad Remastered products there or find a vast number of other great items on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch, where today we're looking at the top 25 hottest Magic cards of the week. Like I said in the cold open, Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales resulted in an inventory dip, and now there are a lot of card prices trending up. This happens every year, but it has given us a pretty diverse list of cards to look at this week. As always, our hot list is based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage increase in the value of the cards, but we also want to see a true increase in the number of sales from week to week as well. Quickly before we get started, just a couple fast things. I do want to say thank you to one of the viewers who gave a super thanks tip last week, and that is Todd Branch. Todd, thank you for all your generosity. I truly appreciate all your support for the channel. It goes a really long way. Thank you very much. And I also want to say thank you to one of our silver patrons, and that is Drew Hartl. Drew, thank you for your help on Patreon. Again, I could not do this without viewers like yourself. Truly thank you for all your support. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 25 is Fountain Port, up 203 to 1245. That's a 19% increase. Many players grabbed copies of this over Black Friday weekend since it is one of the Bloomborough cards that has seen play in multiple formats. In Standard, this is in wildly popular builds like Dimir Midrange, Golgari Midrange, and Mono White Token Control, but it's in other decks there too, including Azorius Convoke, Mono Black Midrange, Azorius Control, Orzhov Midrange, Dimir Demons, Rakdos Midrange, and 4-color Reanimator. Fountain Port is getting a ton of Pioneer play too, in Jund Sacrifice, Azorius Control, Rakdos Transmogrify, Azorius Lotus Field, Jund Midrange, Rakdos Tree, Mono White Token Control, 4-color Midrange, and Grixis Indomitable Creativity. I think you're starting to get the picture here. Additionally, the card has been in several Commander and 1v1 Dual Commander decks. It's even seen additional Commander play over the last few months and builds around new cards like Arabella Abandoned Doll, Toby Beastie Befriender, and the Mind Skinner from Duskmourn, as well as Arabo the First Fang from Magic Foundations, and Evereth Viceroy of Plunder from Magic Foundations Jumpstart. Number 24 is Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, up 205 to 1614. That is a 15% increase. This is from the Ruinous Powers Warhammer 40k Commander deck. Since its release, this card has seen a fair amount of Commander play in a variety of decks, but there are some new decks using Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch now, hence the price jump. Those builds are around the Marvel Secret Lair cards Stormforce of Nature, as well as Niv Mizzet Visionary from Magic Foundations. Number 23, Tiny Bones Trinket Thief, up 215 to 1512. That's a 17% increase. Longtime viewers of the Market Watch will remember this one. It's still a fairly popular commander, and it's in the 99 of some builds. Recently, some have added it to decks around Winter Misanthropic Guide from Duskmourn, but the real reason Tiny Bones Trinket Thief is spiking now is due to a card from Magic Foundations. Players want to add the OG Tiny Bones to their commander builds around the new one. Tiny Bones Bubble Burglar. Number 22, Sheltered by Ghosts. It goes up 220 to 620. That's a 55% increase. This was a go-to card over the shopping weekend since, like Fountain Port, it sees play in Standard, Pioneer, 1v1 Dual Commander, and Regular Commander. In Standard, you see this in Jeskai Aggro, Azorius Convoke, Boros Prowess, Azorius Enchantments, Boros Aggro, and Band Tempo. Over in Pioneer, it appears in Azorius Flash, Azorius Humans, Azorius Spirits, Abzan Auras, Selesnya Enchantments, Selesnya Auras, Boros Heroic, and sometimes Boros Convoke. When it comes to Commander, the highest played deck running this is Lightpaw's Emperor's Voice, but Sheltered by Ghosts is found in several builds there, including a new one around a card from Magic Foundations Jumpstart, Buragone, Soldier of Meletus. Number 21 is Broadside Bombardiers, up 227 to 1297. That is a 21% increase. This is from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, a Hoymades Commander deck. This time we have a card that has been getting played in Legacy, Vintage Commander, and 1v1 Dual Commander. Broadside Bombardier's main claim to fame is that it's a 4-of in the very popular Legacy Red Stoppy deck, but it's in other Legacy builds too, like Boros Initiative and Goblins. Over in Vintage, this appears in Red Prison, and in Commander, it's in a few different decks, including one around the front-facing Commander from its precon, Admiral Brass Unsinkable. Coming in at number 20 is Scepter of Eternal Glory. This is up 256 to 1425. That's a 22% increase. This is from the Warhammer 40k Necron Dynasties Commander deck. It's a good card for monocolor commander or 1v1 dual commander decks, and you see it jumping now because it is getting increased commander play in a few new builds. The most popular one is around Tiny Bones Bubble Burglar from Magic Foundations, but it's also indexed around Rev Tithe Extractor from Magic Foundation's Jumpstart and Velgavoth Terror Eater from Dustborn. Number 19, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, up 258 to 1033. That's a 33% increase. Black Friday weekend is a good time to pick up highly played staple cards, and here's another one that had its inventory withered down over the weekend. This one appears in many decks in multiple formats. First in Pioneer, it's in Rakdos Demon's midrange, and builds running 4 copies of Fable came in first place this weekend in both the Canada and Mexico/Central America/Caribbean regional championships. That is the main reason people have been picking up copies of this card, but it's also in other solid Pioneer decks too, like Jund Sacrifice, Nip to Light, Mardu Greasefang, Rakdos Transmogrify, Jund Midrange, Rakdos Tree, and 5-color midrange. Meanwhile, in Modern, it appears in Omnith builds and Indomitable Creativity. Over in Legacy, this is another 4 of in the popular Red Stompy build, but it's also in Painter and Boros Initiative there. It even sees Vintage play in Red Prison. Additionally, Fable of the Mirror Breaker gets a good amount of use in 1v1 dual commander, and it appears in several regular commander builds too, including fan favorite Krenko Mob Boss decks. Number 18 is Hired Claw, up 263 to 609. That's a 76% increase. This is another card that's seeing play in multiple formats, and again, many had targeted it during those Black Friday weekend sales. First in Standard, this is in the very highly played Mono Red Prowess decks, but it's in other builds too, like Boros Burn, Grill Burn, Rakdos Lizards, and sometimes Grill Prowess. In Pioneer, this appears in Boros Burn and Aggro. This too gets a little play in 1v1 Commander and regular Commander. No surprise that the Commander deck that runs this the most is Gev Scout Scourge. Number 17, Shrufus Sprout Sire. This is up $267 to $20.67. It's a 15% increase. This is one of the Magic Foundation's Jumpstart anime cards, and this is actually moving up in price this week, even though lots of the product has been opened. The card's in the 99 of a few builds, like the Myco Tyrant for example, but Shrufus is really taking off as a commander since many players are interested in using this to head up Saproling builds. Number 16 is Cave In. It goes up $277 to $699. That's a 66% increase. This is an older card that is yet to be reprinted, so it typically does not take much to move the needle here. It sees a little commander play in both regular commander and 1v1 dual commander. Simply, Cave In is moving up now because it has been appearing in commander builds around a new card for Magic Foundations. This is useful in Niv Mizzet Visionary decks. Number 15, Innkeeper's Talent, up 309 to 1876. That's a 20% increase. This is a card that has had success in more than one format. In Standard, this is sometimes found in the sideboard of the popular Gruul Prowess decks, but you always find it in the main of the more low-key Naya Prowess builds. Over in Pioneer, the card appears in Gruul Aggro and sometimes Gruul Prowess. Commander, however, is the format pushing this price spike the most right now. Innkeeper's Talent has been a popular commander card since its release, but now it's getting additional play in builds around a couple cards from the Marvel Secret Layers. They are Wolverine, Best There Is, and to a lesser extent Black Panther, Wakandan King. Number 14 is Restless Cottage, up 341 to 926. That's a 58% increase. The main reason this card has been hot is because it is a 4 of in the very successful Standard Golgari midrange build. Sure, it's in other builds in that format too, like Jund Midrange, Golgari Land Combo, and Golgari Control, but they are not seeing anywhere near the amount of play Golgari midrange is seeing. Restless Cottage also gets some 1v1 dual and regular commander play. The most popular commander deck running this is Egret Eater of All. 13, Glissa Sunslayer, up 355 to 1050. That's a 51% increase. Here's another card that is moving mostly due to its role in the Standard Golgari midrange deck, where it is a 3 of in the main. You also see this in Standard Jund Midrange, Golgari Land Combo, and Golgari Elves. Over in Pioneer, the card appears in Golgari and 4-color midrange. Glissa Sunslayer also gets commander play, sometimes as a commander, but it's more often in the 99 of builds like the recently reprinted Lathril Blade of the Elves, for example. But like our previous card, the key driver for this price spike is truly standard Golgari midrange. Number 12 is Urza's Workshop of $439 to $1755. That's a 33% increase. This was one of the Brothers War Commander cards that was found in set boosters. It is in the very popular Legacy Mystic Forge combo deck. Urza's Workshop is also played in several commander decks. The build where it sees the most play is around Zuladok Voidgorger, but Legacy is the key driver this time. Coming in at number 11 is the Golden Throne. It goes up $459 to $1069. That's a 75% increase. This is from the Warhammer 40k Forces of the Imperium commander deck. There has been heat around some cards from that deck because of the Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 video game, which has been very successful. A few weeks ago we saw Marneus Kulgar from that product spiking, and now this. When it comes to gameplay, the Golden Throne appears in a few different commander decks. Two of the more popular builds that run it are around cards from its precon, Inquisitor Greyfax and the aforementioned Marneus Kulgar. Quickly before we get to our top 10, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Innistrad Remastered products there, but they have a whole lot of other things on their website as well, Magic related and otherwise. Remember, if your order's over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. And if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 10. Coming in where we usually begin at number 10, Bristly Bill Spine Sower, up $528 to $3828. That's a 16% increase. This is another solid Legacy card that appears in Nadu Combo and to a lesser extent in Blue Zenith there, but this time Commander is the key driver for the price jump. It's a fairly popular commander, and in the 99 has several decks in the format. A couple new cards from Magic Foundations are pushing the Bristly Bill commander builds now. They are Mossborn Hydra from the main set, and Scythecat Cub from Jumpstart. But Bristly Bill Spine Sower is also seeing increased play and builds around 3 new cards. Wolverine, Best There Is, and Black Panther Wakandan King from the Marvel Secret Layers, as well as Ludic Exuberant Explorer from Magic Foundations. Coming in at number 9 is Fairy Masterminds at $593 to $2979. That's a 25% increase. Now that the post-Foundation standard environment is coming into focus, we see that format pushing several cards this week, and here's another one. This is a 4 of in the wildly popular and successful Dimir midrange build, and that is the main reason for the spike you see here. It's in other standard decks too though, like Dimir Demons, Azorius Flash, and Dimir Fairies. Over in Pioneer, this card appears in Dimir midrange and Rogues, plus Fairy Mastermind is a solid card in 1v1 dual and regular commander. In fact, you see this in several commander builds. One of the more highly played ones is around a Layla Cunning Conquer. However, standard Dimir midrange is the key driver this time. This card spent 2 weeks in a row at number 2. This week it dropped 6 spots to number 8. It is Arabo Roar of the World at $596 to $4450. That's a 15% increase. This is the foil copy found in the Commander 2017 Feline Ferocity deck. As you know, Arabo is a very popular commander for the cat creature type, but you also see this in the 99 of some builds like Ren and Syrian Separable, for example. Ultimately, Arabo has been dry online for a while since it only has been reprinted one time. That was when it was part of one of the original Secret Layers OMG Kitties. Recently, demand spiked for the card since Magic Foundations and Magic Foundations Jumpstart had brought us more support for the cat creature type with new cards as well as reprints. I'm talking about cards like Arabo the First Fang, Helpful Hunter, Sky Knight Squire, and Scythecat Cub. These are all examples of awesome inclusions for an Arabo Roar of the World commander deck. 2 weeks ago, this was number 10. Last week it moved up to 9, but this time we see it jump 2 more spots to number 7. It is Storm Chaser's Talent, up $809 to $1371. That is a 144% increase. Standard has been pushing this card's price in a big way, but as the new meta solidifies, it's jumping even more than in previous weeks. The main reason is because it's a 4 of in the Temur Flood Color combo deck, which has been putting up good results in the new standard meta. More and more players are building it. I've also seen Storm Chaser's Talent appear in other standard decks like Simic, Bant, and Sultai Tempo, as well as a 4-color version of Flood Color combo, but the Temur variation of the deck is seeing the most play by far. Additionally, this has been getting some commander play too, and builds around Bria Riptide Rogue, Alania Divergent Storm, and Eluge the Shoreless Sea, for example. But standard Temur Flood Color combo is the key driver here. Number 6, Kaito Bane of Nightmares, up 838 to 1880. That's an 80% increase. Standard is the key driver again, but other formats are playing a part in the spike, as you'll see. Let's start with Standard though. This is typically a 3 of in those Dimir mid-range decks that are blowing up in the new Standard meta. It's also Dimir Fairies and Dimir Arcanist Cauldron, but those decks are seeing far less play than Dimir mid-range. Over in Pioneer, Kaito is appearing in Dimir Aggro, and to a lesser extent in Dimir mid-range and Rogues. This card is even being played in Legacy, where you find it in Ninjas, Esper Control, and Grixis Control. Meanwhile, in Commander, of course, this is in Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow, among a few other builds. In fact, it's even seeing play in a new build or on a card from Magic Foundation's Jumpstart, that is Teiko the Patient Avalanche. But like I said, that standard Dimir mid-range deck is the main reason Kaito Bane of Nightmares is spiking the way it is. Moving up 3 spots this week to number 5 is Preston the Vanisher. It goes up 1012 to 2584. That is a 64% increase. This card has been gaining a lot of popularity in the Commander format thanks to a new card from Magic Foundations. That card is Heir Apparent. Whenever one of these cards that breaks the 1 overrule in Commander appears, you need to pay attention. Players love to build around them. Now we're seeing lots of bunny decks, and sometimes Preston the Vanisher is the commander, sometimes it's in the 99. For example, Heir Apparent and Preston have been appearing in Delny Streetwise Lookout and Felia Exuberant Shepherd commander decks. Now, Preston is not the highest played commander using Heir Apparent, that would be Balin the Haymaker, but the extra attention on this card, which had only been printed in Jumpstart 2022, has led to the spike you see here. Coming in at number 4 is Rev Tithe Extractor, up 1074 to 6478. That's a 20% increase. This Magic Foundation's Jumpstart anime card was priced at over $100 when it was released due to all the hype around the anime cards in general. Since then, it's been a roller coaster ride as it tries to find a more correct price point. This week, it's jumping up. I have seen many Commander deck lists around this card, and it's in the 99 of decks too. Some players want it for builds around a couple other Magic Foundation's Jumpstart anime cards. Those are Evereth Viceroy of Plunder and Tefelia Viper Whisperer. It will be interesting to see where Rev's price lands in the end, but it is shaping up to be a solid Commander card. Number 3 is Edgar Markov from the Commander 2017 Vampiric Bloodlust Commander deck. This is up 1330 to 9152 for a 17% increase. So this card only comes in foil. The only other printing of Edgar is a Judge promo, which also only comes in foil. Speaking of roller coaster rides, this card dropped significantly a few weeks back when Wizards announced that it would be reprinted in Innistrad Remastered. But players can be impatient, and it appears that some Black Friday sales may have encouraged some to go out and pull the trigger on this original copy prior to the release of the reprint, leading to lower inventory in the marketplace this week. No doubt, when Innistrad Remastered comes out, this will drop again, but the question is, how low will it go? Edgar Markov is a wildly popular commander, and many players have been waiting for a reprinting for a long time. Number 2 is Parallax Tide from Nemesis, of 1394 to 2999. That's an 87% increase. This Nemesis copy is the only tournament legal printing of the card, and it has been dry online. This does see play in 1v1 dual commander, but pre-modern is the format making it spike this week. Recently, the Fall Brawl pre-modern tournament was held, and a Parallax replenished deck running 4 copies of Parallax Tide made the top 8. This brought more attention to a build that has been strong in the format for a while. So long story short, some extra demand and an already scarce card led to the spike you see here. And finally, coming in at number 1 for the second week in a row, Thrumming Stone. The Cold Snap copy goes up 412 to 29.99. That's a 16% increase. The one from the list is up 13.94 to 43.31. That's a 47% increase. And the Double Masters 2022 copy is up 21.38 to 32.60. That is a 191% increase if you're doing the math at home. So this is a huge commander card for builds that run cards that can break the 1 per deck limit. Cards like Templar Knight, Persistent Petitioners, Rat Colony, Relentless Rats, Shadowborn Apostle, Dragon's Approach, Slime Against Humanity, and this latest one, Heir Apparent from Magic Foundations. And yes, this is the reason Thrumming Stone is spiking wildly. Like I said earlier, Heir Apparent has inspired many players to build Rabbit commander decks. Some of the more popular commander builds running this with Thrumming Stone include Balin the Haymaker, Phineas Ace Archer, Delny Streetwise Lookout, and this newer creature from Dustmourn, Arabella Abandoned Doll. For a second week in a row, all copies of Thrumming Stone are spiking aggressively. We'll have to see where its price lands in the coming weeks. Alright, that's going to do it for our top 25 hot cards of the week, but that's only part of the story. We have another video coming out tomorrow where we look at the top 10 coldest cards. These are the cards moving down in value, and I'll tell you, these were not easy to find on Black Friday week. But until next time, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.